Good morning! Welcome to another episode of Jake's Bounty. Hey, it is August the 18th, 2022. It's a Throwback Thursday. Let's go ahead and do it. Innards, guts. Alright, thank you very much for tuning in to Jake's Bounty. I'm your host, Jake Hernandez. My camera just turned off on me, so, here we go, take two. All right. I'd like to thank the music provided by Deadpool. That was Innards from their Innards album. Well, it's actually an EP, but it's going to be re-released, and it'll be coming up at the end of the summer. We'll tell you when it'll be re-released when I have more information on that. Also, we've got the 41-year-old virgin over here that effed up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. Over at Ray's Video, $1 7-day rental. I might actually watch this and tell you if it sucks or not. It probably does suck. And then we got retro trivia puzzles, challenges, all that good stuff. 70s and 80s, $5.99 when you type in the word retro. And then dog training for dummies, still got it. I'm a dummy because my dog Duke has gotten out so many times, even today, and I'll probably even share a video with you guys later on. But hey, dog training for dummies, just $2.99, $5.99 when you type in the word dummy. All right, there we go. Well, let's go ahead and try this all over again. So, 6 injured after truck plows into bank in Fresno River Park. A woman in her 70s tried to park her car, but accelerated into the building at Blackstone and Knees at 10:30 a.m. Her Chevy Silverado, went into the bank, and luckily no one was, killed, and she's okay. There was some injured, and there were some people probably shocked and oh my God. The bank will be closed today as well as it was yesterday. All right, just repairs, I imagine. Last man in prison for Chowchilla bus kidnapping in 1976 to be released. 46 years later. 2 of the kidnappers have already been released, and now this third one has also been granted parole. The 2 that were first granted were 2012, Richard Schoenfeld, age 57, and his brother was granted 3 years later, and then Fred Woods was the final guy who's still in prison right now over at San Luis Obispo Men's Colony Prison. All right. And he's actually been denied parole 17 times, and this last time he got it. All right, officials warn deadly rainbow fentanyl could get into the wrong hands of children. Although really, if it gets into any hands, that's the wrong hands. I mean, if it gets into my hands, that would be the wrong hands. But seriously, no, it reminds me of a time when meth was actually being colored to entice the children. Right? It looked like Fun Dip or some shit. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is really scary. Now, of course, it's coming back up in the news. So if you happen to see any, rainbow, powdered substances, just be aware, all right? And finally, we've got the deadly Porterville fire that happened back 2.5 years ago is finally starting, all right? More than 2.5 years ago, fire broke out at the library in Porterville, which was started by 2 13-year-old kids, and took 2 firefighters' lives, including Raymond Figueroa and Patrick Jones. All right, and the 2 teens have been charged with murder and arson charges. All right, so that case starts today. We'll have more from it, I'm assuming. All right. And let's go ahead and talk about retro trivia puzzles and all that good stuff, 70s and 80s. All right, let me see if I can find something that I haven't done yet. Yeah, there's something I have never said. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Hold on. There it is. Which band did not feature legendary guitarist Eric Clapton? You can skim over answers right off the top. A, the Yardbirds. B, Traffic. C. Cream, or D. Derek and the Dominoes. All right. This answer is B. Traffic. He did not play in the band Traffic, although he did form a band with Steve Winwood and three friends. Later went on to form a band called Blind Faith with Clapton. Okay, so if you knew that, give yourselves a Barry Horowitz pat on the back, and good job. All right, well, I'm going to tell you about this movie, a 41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. Let's a little synopsis about it. It's time to get down and dirty. Your favorite characters from some of the funniest films of all time come together in this outrageous spoof of Judd Apatow's smash hit comedies. Andy needs to hook up with a hottie pronto because he hasn't had sex in, well, ever. And his luck isn't the only thing that's hard. His equally horny teenage roommates also seem super bad. And with the help of their nerdy pal, Mick Anilovin, and his fake ID, they may tap more than just a keg. You'll score laugh out loud insanity with this hilarious raunchy comedy. Oh, I have to give it a try now. So do you. We raise video, $1, 7-day rental. All right, 41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. If you can get out of your mouth, yeah, you might want to just check it out. All right. Well, it is Throwback Thursday, and since they're going to release The Last Kidnapper from Chowchilla kidnapping that took place 46 years ago. I wanted to talk about it. And one of the first things I was told when I first moved to Kingsburg, and we were driving down, you know, south of Hayward and everything, we came across Chowchilla, and my dad was like, "Oh yeah, it's not known for much except for the Chowchilla kidnappings." And I was like, "Oh, well, what's about that?" And there's these bus kidnappings that happened back, it's just one bus kidnapping that happened back in 1976, where 26 kids were kidnapped, and also the bus driver. And this was in like summer school, and it was in like Dairyland School in Chowchilla or something like that. It was one out way out there. It wasn't just like a Chowchilla right in the center of town. It was like in the urban area. Anyway, these guys had basically marked out and stamped out what times the buses leave, and then, you know, which street and places they go, and how many kids. So they just followed the bus one day, and they had it, you know, stopped in front of it, and made sure that the bus got stopped. There's two vans, you know, stopping it, and they put the kids in the vans, and then I think they stashed the bus somewhere, and parents ended up calling the police relatively quickly, because they're like, "Hey, our kids aren't home," and it wasn't just one kid, it was like 26 kids, you know. And also the bus driver, his wife was like, "Hey, where are you at?" You know, so she called and she was wondering, and they found the bus almost like instantly hidden, and then they didn't know where the kids were. They were off, who knows where, but it ended up being actually dumped in Livermore. And when I say dumped, they were put into a trailer that was buried underneath some like dirt and stuff in a quarry that Fred Wood's, I think, dad owned, right? And so anyway, they were in this trailer with all this dirt on top of them and stones and batteries covering the top. But there's supposed to be ventilation and water and even places to, you know, relieve yourself, which is really disgusting. But they did, you have to use it eventually. So they stayed down there for a couple hours, and, you know, they started getting, you know, pretty panicky and like, okay, these kids are scared, I'm scared. We got to find a way to get out. So the oldest kid there and the bus driver basically, there was, I don't know if there was mattresses or something, but there was something that they could stack, and so they just stacked, and then they were able to finally get to the vent, where the opening rather, and it was too heavy to move. But after, you know, fudgeting with it for quite some time, and, you know, you get that strength in those kind of moments, you know. And he was able to lift it off, and actually, you know, they got out, and luckily there was no one around. But then they didn't know where they were at. So you got the 26 kids and this bus driver just running, you know, walking around, running around, trying to not get caught and be seen, but they also want to be seen by somebody to get rescued. And luckily they did get rescued by, I think, some like farm workers and like a pickup truck, and maybe, I don't know, if it was like two, you know, they had to go get them twice, or they had another van. And but anyway, they were able to, everybody was back safe. And then the whole news came out like, oh, the kids are back, and there's kidnapping, this heroin story and everything like that. And then, you know, they find out who's wanted, these 3 kids who were basically rich kids who were trying to get more money, thinking they could, you know, use these kids as hostage to get more money. But it didn't, it just felt sideways. And the 2 brothers ended up getting caught really quick. And then I think Fred ended up being on the lam for a little bit, but was relatively caught quick as well. So that is the Chowchilla kidnapping story, and you can get it on, you know, your internet. You can read it, or you can get it in video form, documentaries. There's been movies. There's an actual movie that was on, like, I don't know if it was on Lifetime or some channel like that back in the 90s. It's a pretty good movie, a rendition of it. And so you can look those up. The Chowchilla kidnappings back in 1976. Wow, man, crazy times. So far, it is still, I think, the largest kidnapping of, like, you know, one you know, group of people like that. I could be mistaken. All right, I want to go ahead and thank you for tuning in. And I almost forgot my cans. No, I didn't. Today I got a whole bunch of water bottles from a gentleman over there at Valero. He must have had like 100 crushed water bottles in the back of his car. I want to say thank you very much, mister. The lady was also very nice next to him. She had some beer bottles, and I think she had like a can or 2. And I went to Motel 6 and got a whole bunch of glass, as well as some water in cans as well. AMPM wasn't that bad. And I don't think I got any at King's Market, but I did get a big sack, so I'm not talking about my sack, but big anyway. Hey! No, I didn't find anything on the floor, but hey, all is well, ends well, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on an Unfamiliar Friday. And you guys be good to yourselves, be good to each other. I want to thank the sponsors, Retro Tree Challenges, Puzzles, $5.99, type the word retro. Get the movie right here, 41-Year-Old Virgin. Fucked Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. And Dog Training for Dummies, also at Dog Training for Dummies. Yes, type the word dummy, you get it for just $5.99 over at Jake's Bounty, all right? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you. Here's the Deadpool with the innards. All right. You can pick that up later this summer. Jake's Bounty is filmed at 42 Summer Records Production 2022. You can follow us on Facebook and channel's website. Leave a like and comment. As always, please subscribe and look for my TikTok video earlier later today.